How's it going, everyone? This is Boots with Snapkeep Arcade, back with another new player's guide to the multiverse. This week we'll be talking about one of Magic's most important characters, and one especially crucial to the current story, Nicol Bolas. Nicol Bolas is the central figure for the M19 story, and his conflict with the Gatewatch will be concluded over the next year with the 3 upcoming Ravnica sets. Snapkeep Arcade thought it would be a good time to review Nicol Bolas before the climax of his scheme is revealed. There's a lot of information about Nicol Bolas, but we'll be covering the basics and aspects closely related to the current story. Our story starts with the Dragon, a primordial being who spawned the existence of dragons throughout the multiverse. Birthed from the beat of the Dragon's wings, 2 twins were born from one egg, Ugin and Nicol. While other dragons were born with 2 names, Ugin and Nicol shared their name, each taking 1/2 for their own. Upon hatching, the small twins witnessed the murder of their sister, Marevia Sal, at the hands of humanoids. This scene haunted both Ugin and Nicol, but impacted Nicol to the point of obsession. Struggling to cope with being less than his dragon siblings and cousins, Nicol adopted a second name and became Nicol Bolas. Over the years, the twins learned to hunt, increasing their knowledge and strength while residing with their brother, Arcades Sabbath, Dragon Lord of a human settlement. Here, Nicol learned how to manipulate humans, preparing him with the necessary skills to avenge his sister's death. Because this story is currently unraveling in the weekly story, not much else is known about Nicol Bolas' early life, except for the fact that these events led to the Dragon War. This conflict affected the fabric of the multiverse, impacting several planes, leaving many Elder Dragons dead and igniting Nicol Bolas' spark as a Planeswalker. Nicol Bolas became infamous throughout the multiverse, a terror upon all who encountered him. Azor, the Sphinx Planeswalker who created the Azorius Guild on Ravnica, and Nicol's twin brother Ugin, devised a plan to end the maliciousness of Nicol Bolas. The Immortal Sun is an artifact constructed by Azor by sacrificing his Planeswalker spark. The Immortal Sun is capable of trapping a Planeswalker on a single plane. Azor and Ugin planned to trap Nicol Bolas on the plane of Ixalan, where Ugin would then destroy his brother, ridding the multiverse of one of its most evil entities. Learning of their plan, Nicol tracked down Ugin to the plane of Tarkir, a plane rich with dragons spawned from the tempests created by the Dragon. A fierce battle ensued, and although his victory was hard fought, Nicol murdered his brother Ugin. However, unknown to Bolas, the Planeswalker Sarkhan Vol traveled back in time from 1300 years in the future and used his magic to encase Ugin in a protective cocoon. The timeline was rewritten on Tarkir, and unknown to Nicol Bolas, Ugin survived their battle. Because of the event known as the Mending, Planeswalker sparks across the multiverse were weakened. Planeswalkers lost their godlike powers and immortality. Shortly before the Mending, Nicol Bolas traveled to Amonkhet, obsessed with the strange metal Lazotep. The gods of Amonkhet opposed Nicol Bolas' arrival, but his strength was no match for them. Bolas quickly defeated the gods, protectors of the mortals of Amonkhet, before destroying every man and woman old enough to walk. The gods felt a surge of mana weave around the dragon as a tangle of malevolence. They grasped desperately for spells to protect and defend, but they were too slow. The dragon opened his eyes, and every mortal old enough to walk dissipated in the sky. A brilliant white light engulfed Nakdamun, and the 7 gods fell to their knees in agony as countless souls vanished from existence. Bolas used the mummified dead to raise the surviving children of Amonkhet, erasing the gods' memories and establishing a religion centered around the god pharaoh Nicol Bolas. He left Amonkhet, leaving behind a culture and religion centered around him, a prophecy which stated that he will one day return, and at that moment he will grant a true afterlife to those mortals and gods who prove themselves worthy to him. The god pharaoh promised to return to Amonkhet when the second sun is positioned between the monument of Bolas' 2 horns. In an attempt to regain the powers he lost due to the Mending, Bolas turned his attention to Alara, a plane shattered into 5 shards: Bant, Esper, Grixis, Jund, and Naya. Bolas schemed to use the power of the coming conflux, a natural phenomenon that would merge the shards back together to regain his lost powers. During this time, he met an artificer named Tezzeret, a planeswalker that would become Bolas's most trusted henchman. Bolas's plans on Alara were thwarted by the planeswalker Ajani, and we wouldn't see Bolas in the main story for a few years, but his schemes continued behind the scenes. Nicol Bolas played a key role in the release of the Eldrazi Titans on Zendikar. During his conflict with Ugin, Nicol learned the secrets of the Eldrazi, leading him to manipulate Chandra, Jace, and Sarkhan Vol to release the Eldrazi Titans. Little is known about why Nicol Bolas wanted the Eldrazi released, and even though Ulamog and Kozilek were killed by the Gatewatch, Emrakul is still trapped within the Silver Moon of Innistrad. During the events of Kaladesh and Aether Revolt, the Gatewatch encountered Tezzeret, posing as the head judge for the Inventor's Fair, the special Grand Consul of Girapur. Tezzeret was sent to Kaladesh by Nicol Bolas to retrieve a device known as the Planar Bridge, an artifact created by the artificer Rashmi that could transport an army across the multiverse. Tezzeret stole the Planar Bridge and escaped the Gatewatch. In a search to uncover Bolas's scheme, the Gatewatch found themselves on Amonkhet, generations after Bolas had transformed the plane in his image. The mortals and gods eagerly awaited the arrival of the god Pharaoh, the trials of the 5 gods becoming the center of the society. As a warrior completed the trials, they were slain by the god Hazaret, before being embalmed in layers of the strange metal Lazotep, a metal that retained a warrior's life force. After decades of trials, Bolas's army of Eternals was ready to be claimed. As the second sun aligned with the effigy of Bolas's horns, the god Pharaoh returned. His army wreaked havoc upon the plane, assisted by 3 forgotten gods, the Scorpion God, the Locust God, and the Scarab God. The survivors, including the planeswalker Samut and the god Hazaret, fled to the desert, but the city of Noctamun was obliterated. The Gatewatch confronted Bolas in the ruins of Noctamun, but were easily defeated. Bolas tore through the mind of Jace Beleren, who planeswalked away before being mentally crushed by Bolas. When we next see Bolas, he orders Vraska, an enemy of Jace, to travel to Ixalan in order to find the Immortal Sun, the artifact created by Azor with the intent of trapping Bolas. Vraska travels to Ixalan, unable to planeswalk away due to the presence of the Immortal Sun. On Ixalan, Vraska encounters Jace, his memories erased from the battle with Nicol Bolas. Vraska and Jace join together to find the Immortal Sun. During their time together on Vraska's ship, they fall in love, the memories of their hatred for one another lost. Jace and Vraska find Azor protecting the Immortal Sun. He reveals the plan he and Ugin hatched millennia ago. He tells Jace and Vraska that he had never received Ugin's signal to draw Bolas to the plane. Jace and Vraska begin unraveling Bolas's scheme, discovering that he intends to create a trap for planeswalkers using the Immortal Sun, and to invade Ravnica by teleporting his army of Eternals using the Planar Bridge. Knowing Bolas will uncover Vraska and Jace's discoveries with his telepathy, Jace erases Vraska's memories, erasing their love for one another. But Jace planted a trigger in her mind which would allow her memories to return at the right moment. Jace planeswalks away to find the Gatewatch as Vraska hands over the Immortal Sun to Tezzeret. The Gatewatch has gathered allies and is preparing to defeat Bolas and prevent him from invading Ravnica. I can't wait for the story to unfold in Guilds of Ravnica, Ravnica Allegiance, and the unnamed 3rd Ravnica set next fall. If you aren't familiar with the story, I highly recommend going back and catching up. I would start from Magic Origins because the creative team changed their approach to the story at that point and has been releasing weekly content that is truly great, especially the Ixalan story with Jace and Vraska. Let's be honest, any story written by Alison Lurs is incredible. If you like this video, please subscribe to Snapkeep Arcade and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a new video. This has been Boots with Snapkeep Arcade. Thanks for watching.